Tax Time America has been bringing customers all their credits for more than 15 years. Tax Time America has provided our community with friendly, professional tax preparation and is always up to date on IRS rules and regulations and on the Affordable Care Act. Depend on Tax Time America, an authorized e-file provider, registered tax preparer, and a member of the Associated Tax Professionals. Tax Time America brings experience and ethical practices to you with no out-of-pocket fees. Refund anticipation checks within 7 to 14 days. Tax Time America Income Tax Service, located at 103 High Street, across from Max Brown Pharmacy next to Urban Gear. Call 274-8181. Trust the experienced professionals at Tax Time America Income Tax Service to use their experience to get you the maximum refunds, bringing customers all their credits for more than 15 years.
Hi everyone, we'd like to welcome you to Real Talk. I'm your host, Pat Terrio, and we are here at the East Lawrence Falcons campus here. We've got Coach Eddie Floyd with us. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing very well. You know, it's always a pleasure to come here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now tell us about what's going on here. What are you guys doing here at East Lawrence?
Well, we're hosting a camp, Southern Elite Baseball. They're coming in and they're bringing John Rocker, Otis Nixon, Steve Woodard, and Johnny Estrada. And
awesome.
They're coming to do a camp for us here at East Lawrence, and to help increase the baseball and morale in this community, and do a positive thing for our area and community and school.
That is fantastic. Now, is this a camp that you have every year, or is this the first year you're having
This
it?
is our first time, so we're really excited, and we've got great numbers out. We've got 120 signed up, pre-registered, and so there's going to be several more tomorrow, I'm hoping. So it's going to be a really exciting time for our community and school.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Now talk to us about your baseball club, and then we want to get to meet some of these awesome guys, if that's okay.
That's great.
I'm sure the people out there would love that.
Definitely. I do middle school baseball. Coach Gabe Gay and I, we do it together, and so we work with the younger guys. Coach Gene Mulkey, Jonathan Morris, Josh Walker, and Pat Jordan do the high school. They do a really good job there. The facilities are phenomenal up there, and they're really good, really good coaches and do well with the kids. So we're trying to start a good feeder program for them and do things for them so that it'll carry over. For years to come.
Absolutely, and it's good that you're tag teaming like that because you're definitely preparing these young men, to actually to very much so excel in this sport. So now, were you also a baseball player?
I was. I played at Truitland County High School.
Truitland.
Yep.
Now, did you play in college as well?
I played football at West Georgia.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. And so, how long have you been coaching here at East Lawrence?
5 years.
5 years. And what have you seen as far as a trend of how well the team has been doing?
Our kids work extremely hard. They're not as blessed as other kids sometimes, because we live in a lower economic society over here. But our kids are great kids. They work hard. If you help them, they will exceed your expectations. And they'll, they're yes sir, no sir, and they just do a wonderful job and do anything you ask them to do and more,
And that's good to hear. Of course, being down south, they have those southern manners, which is always good. And it also transcends when you're actually an athlete in the sports. So what things do you guys work on with these kids, especially with this camp?
We're going to do a lot of fundamentals. The high school kids, they'll get more in depth. There'll be pitching, outfielding, infielding, catching, hitting, you name it. We got it, base stealing, running.
And so you've got these awesome MLB retirees coming in. Now, what are they going to add to this here?
Well, I tell you one thing they're doing. They're getting this community excited about baseball. And that's something we hadn't seen in a long time. And hopefully that's changing now, And Gene Mulkey's doing a good job changing that at the high school. And we're looking for great things in the future, Coach Gay and I are just the middle school coaches, and I was blessed enough to have the opportunity to hunt with these guys. It's nothing I went out and pursued. And just had the opportunity to meet them and got our foot in the door, and they were nice enough to come down here and do a baseball camp for me.
How
And,
cool is
So
that?
we're just blessed all around.
Now, you say you went hunting with them?
Yes.
What kind of hunting did you do?
Deer hunting.
How cool. Did you get anything?
I didn't. I didn't.
Well, you kind of messed up the
Saw some
reputation
deer.
here.
I saw some
You
deer,
saw
but we didn't see anything big enough to shoot.
Okay. Well, wonderful. We're glad you have that relationship with them and that it's also coming into play with this camp.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, keep doing great things, Coach
Thank
Floyd.
you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
We are here with Mr. Steve Woodard himself. How are you, Steve?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Doing very well. You know, there's so many people out there just definitely want to hear from you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Talk about how your experience has been with the major leagues.
Well, my name is Steve Woodard. I'm from Hartselle, Alabama. Very fortunate enough, about a 7 or 8 year major league career. Played with a bunch of different teams. I guess it's easier to say who I didn't play for.
Right.
Milwaukee. I played in Milwaukee for most of my career, but Milwaukee, Cleveland, Texas, Boston, Oakland, a little bit of everywhere. So.
How many years does that span to?
Well, big league career about 7 or 8 years, and I was in the minor leagues for several years. So.
Now, have you always wanted to be a baseball player? Were you one of those kids growing up watching television or going to the game saying, I want to be that guy?
I was a actually L.A. Dodger fan growing up. Oral Hershiser was one of my favorite pitchers, Roger Clemens, and
Yes.
I was fortunate enough. I actually played against Oral, and then Oral actually became a pitching coach for me several years later. So, like I said, every kid's dream, play Major League Baseball, and a lot of good things have happened.
And that's wonderful. And you look at these little kids that you're going to actually interact with at the camp. These are going to be little kids that have those dreams just like how you did. And so how does that feel coming back to give back?
Oh, it feels great. I do a lot of camps all around the country, doing different things and trying to help kids out because and John will tell you, you never know what kid's going to make it. You never know.
That's
you just
right.
You never know what's going to happen. And a kid giving maybe a kid the right advice or giving a kid something that he can work with, it may help him.
And what kind of experience, from your experience, can you actually instill within these kids, as far as what you have learned, some of the growing pains, so to speak?
Well, I mean, baseball, what most people don't realize, baseball is a game of failure. The most successful people in the major leagues fail 7 times out of 10. The best hitters in the world fail. And, it's a game of failure, and it teaches a lot about the game of life also, ups and downs. So, just teaching kids, that and helping them grow up.
Oh, that's awesome. They're going to learn a lot from you, just from life lessons, so to speak. And so what else is going on with you other than, you're doing a lot of camps, you're definitely giving back. What else have you been doing?
Well, we met Eddie, Coach Floyd. We met him. We came hunting. That's kind of how that.
But you didn't get anything. You
I
didn't.
didn't have a chance to. I didn't see a deer, so I'd never had a chance to.
Oh, okay.
So, no, we had a great time. It was a good time, but it was great getting to meet him, his family, and hang out with them. But that's kind of how this all got started.
Oh, that's wonderful. And there's so many people, kids are going to be there. They're going to be like fans of yours.
Well, that's, it's kind of the same way, when I was growing up, growing up looking up to these people. So, hopefully we can do this every year. We look forward
Absolutely, absolutely. With this being the first one, we're quite sure that it's going to be successful and look forward to next year as well.
That sounds great.
All right. Such a pleasure meeting you.
Very nice to meet you.
All right. This
Thanks
is
for
Steve
having me.
Woodard, everyone. We have been having such a wonderful time. We've got John Rocker, the legend himself. How are you, John?
Legend. That's some pretty big shoes to fill right there.
Well, you've got pretty big feet.
I do. I'll leave that one alone. Yeah, I'm doing good. Happy to be in Dublin. Got a baseball camp we're working tomorrow. I'm really excited about it.
We're glad to have you here. We want you to kind of tell everyone a little bit about you, and let's talk about how your career span has gone.
All right, well, I grew up in Macon, Georgia, just about 50 miles up the road.
Right.
I went to First Presbyterian High School up there. Got drafted by the Atlanta Braves in '93. Spent almost 10 years with their organization.
Nice.
Got this ring from the Braves.
You got to show it.
Back. I always say I played with the Braves back when they were good.
Right.
Back in the Maddox and Glavine and Schmaltz and, and all
right.
those days. I had a lot of fun. 100 games a year annually. And actually was in Cooperstown last year to watch Bobby and Tom and Greg get inducted. I'll be back there this year to watch John get inducted. But had a great time. I obviously grew up huge fan of the Atlanta Braves and was actually at the game. And I believe it was in '84, '86 when Bob Horner hit four home runs.
Right.
I was at that game. Always a big Dale Murphy fan and Chris
Right.
Chambliss. Back in the days where you could walk up to Old Fulton County Stadium and buy a $6 ticket and sit,
Right.
sit 8 rows back.
Right.
And never thought I would actually be pitching in that uniform. But
Right.
had a good career. Played almost 8 years in the big leagues, and Blew my shoulder out in 2004 and pitched a little bit thereafter, but just wasn't that good anymore. So I quit in 2005, and I've just been kind of being retired since then. I've done some non-for-profit work. I started a charity a few years ago called Save Homeless Veterans. We're a 501c3.
That's fantastic.
Run that out of Atlanta, and then do some various camps like this. And wrote a book a few years ago called Rockers, Scars, and Strikes.
You mean? Wait a minute. You're an athlete. You're a philanthropist, and you're an author.
And actually, I've got my own radio show coming up this year, too, on the CBS affiliate in Atlanta. So
how cool is that? And you were on Survivor.
I was on Survivor this year. And people always tell me, how was it? And my immediate response is, easily the worst decision I've ever made.
Why is that?
It was completely a bad idea.
But it's good television. It's good to watch.
Yeah, you enjoy watching my misery. That's what reality TV is about. It's about the train wreck and look at what a bad day that guy's having. Well, I was the guy having the bad day.
Right.
I was only on the show for 10 days. Thank goodness. I lost 19 pounds in 10 days.
19 pounds.
Yeah, thank you, Survivor diet. Yeah, miserable.
Maybe that's a diet that we all can subscribe to.
Yeah, if you don't mind just sucking your thumb for 10 days and going, when will this misery end? Then go for it. Yeah.
What made you decide to get on Survivor?
They invited me.
And you just accepted the invitation.
I had nothing better to do, so I'm sure I'll do it. Okay.
And tell us about this charity that you're doing for veterans.
Called Save Homeless Veterans.
Yep.
It's basically to get veterans off the street, get them in competent housing. We lease most of our properties. They're 2,000 square foot homes, nice homes, and it's a transition program by which we get a veteran off the street, we put them in a nice home, get them counseling for whatever issue is causing them to become homeless, job training, job acquisition, and hopefully, ideally, it doesn't always work out like this, but within about 12, 14 months, return to society, kind of a rehabilitated individual that's got a job, got a way to support themselves, and has kicked their addictions or arrested their PTSD or traumatic brain injury or whatnot. And
that is wonderful.
Yeah, it's some success stories, some not, but at least we're making the effort.
Well, that's wonderful. Because there's a lot of states. Well, I was an Army wife for 20 years, so there's a lot of states that don't have programs like that for homeless veterans. And so for you to have a program like that, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
You got to have the not-for-profits. People always say, why can't the government do this? If I could just separate myself completely from the VA and provide every service that my vets need just in-house, I would. It's just a matter of dollars, plain and simple.
Absolutely. Now, talk about this book. You're a published author.
It's called Rockers, Scars, and Strikes. It came out a little over 2 years ago. I actually wrote probably 98% of it. We'll never do it again. There again, another bad idea I had. About 18 months to put that thing together. I had no idea how much time, how time consuming it was to write a book.
2 words. Ghostwriter. Ghostwriter.
I tried that. I read his first draft of the first 3 chapters. About page 5, I'm like, nah, this isn't going to work.
I'm going to spend 18 months of my life.
Yeah, well, it was.
And
so
what is it about? What is this book about? What is this book about?
Basically, a lot was about my journey to the big leagues. Getting the wild hair up my you-know-what when I was about 13. Living in Macon, Georgia, saying, I kind of want to be in the big leagues one day. And just the kind of mental and physical maturation process to be a 13-year-old Atlanta Brave fan to, at 23, stepping up, and I'm facing Todd Hollingsworth with the LA Dodgers on May 4th, 1998, pitching in the big leagues for the Braves, and just that whole 10-year process. And then once we get there, there's a lot of Brave stories and some kind of, for the big league fans, some behind-the-scenes stuff that you won't hear on radio and TV interviews and things like that. The fans find entertaining.
That is fantastic. And those little boys that you're going to see tomorrow, did you bring your books with you?
I did. I brought a few, yeah.
How cool is that? Can I get a signed copy?
Sure.
You're saying that's on the air.
Yeah, I'm held to it. Yeah,
you are held to it.
Held to it.
And now a radio, yes.
Amongst other things.
Amongst other things. Tell us about the radio show that you have.
I'm working out a deal right now with 92.9 The Game. It's a CBS affiliate up in Atlanta. I did just a one-day-a-week baseball show. Yeah, nothing big. But
you're kind of busy.
A little bit.
So what do you do? What do you do when you have time to just relax? What do you do to relax?
I chase horned animals around. Deer hunting.
That's awesome.
Deer hunting for you lay people out there.
We have to remember you're from Macon, so you know how to relate to all the people around here in this.
I do.
Okay, very good, very good. It was such a pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, and so you've got a lot to contribute to these guys tomorrow.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, I was one of those kids, I'm not going to tell you how many years ago it was, but some years back. we had a lot of opportunities when I was growing up to do the camps and whatnot, but never by, for mainstay. You know, I mean, Johnny Estrada was a Silver Slugger, dear friend of mine. Silver Slugger back in '04 was a 2-time All-Star. Myself, I played in World Series and Yankee stadiums and several National League championships. Steve Woodard has got a great resume as well. Otis Nixon, dear friend of mine, coming tomorrow. Otis, 17-year career, multiple All-Star. Never got to learn from guys like that, and you never know what little intricate thing you're going to say that's going to, flip a switch in the kid's head, whether it's a batting stance, whether it's a pitching motion, whether it's, showing how to properly hold his breaking ball or his fastball or whatever, it's going to click and either, get him interested and get him motivated enough to make himself into a player, or improve his skills to the point where now he's a good high school player or whatever. You never know what it's going to do. But I like taking my knowledge of, I guess 13 years of professional baseball. And giving it back to some kids that, without, our help and our support, I don't know where else they would get it. Not to say that their high school coaches or their fathers aren't knowledgeable, but just don't have, 50 years of experience sitting on one field to say, here's how you steal a base from Otis Nixon. If you're a leadoff hitter, here's your approach you need to take. Kind of, if it's, second and third, one-run game in the bottom of the ninth. Here's how you need to approach it from a closer's mentality. That's going to be invaluable to these kids. I look forward to working with them.
Well, we're glad to have you here and your wealth of knowledge.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. This is John Rocker, everyone.